Hello everyone and welcome to the official Future Software YouTube channel's first video. We're going to be talking about my server project as well as showing you how to make your very first computer program. So welcome everyone to Future Software's first video, where we're going to be talking about my server project of creating my own server, as well as showing you how to make your first computer program, on Windows that is. So if you're on Mac, go get Windows, because that's what you're going to need for this. Anyways, so before we go ahead and get in, I just want to mention Future Software, this little thing that I made, is not a company, it's not a corporation, not an enterprise, none of that. It's just a little group of a few people that like to develop software and learn about technology together. That's it. No licenses or copyrights or anything. There are companies named Future Software. They are the actual Future Software companies. We are not a company, so don't bother me about that. Okay, now continuing on, we are going to go ahead and start with the server project. So I am working on creating my own server at home for hosting websites and cloud storage and other projects. Because on a server, you can host websites for free. You don't need to buy a domain. There isn't a World Wide Web company that owns all the domains. It's just a server. If you go to GoDaddy or Wix or whatever, you're just buying space on their server. You're not buying a domain. That's not a physical thing you just buy. You're buying space on a server, and that's how they make money. But yeah, for the server, you can host websites free and all kinds of stuff like that. So I'm getting ready, setting up my own internet network. You know, you got to get peripherals, a new monitor, so it takes a while to get all the parts. For those who are interested in the specs of the server, the central processing unit, or CPU, is going to be an Intel Core i5 9th gen. And then it'll have a 750 watt power supply. I'll just use integrated graphics on the chip. Zeus motherboard. I don't remember the exact model, but it's got lots of SATA ports, essentially. And yeah. So those are the general specs. If you want to learn more, I'll talk about it in a separate video. But yeah, I'm getting that set up. That'll be coming soon. I'll make some videos on the server just showing you how it works. I've actually got some stuff ready here. I've got a few drives. This isn't a good way to show them because that's just this. There we go. I'll show you with this. Okay, come on. There we go. So I've got a 1 terabyte drive, which is going to have my videos and other stuff, and then a 2 terabyte drive, and then that is my SSD in this PC, and then a removable USB. So yeah, I've been working on that, and we will see what comes of that in the near future. But now let's get right into making your first computer program. So for our first program, we're not going to be making an app. And have seen some people that think all programs are apps. Yes, we do have apps like this, YouTube, and YouTube photos, stuff like that. But not all programs are apps. If you go into File Explorer and you go to your C drive and you go to Program Files, and you can probably find something in here that is not an app, but can still run code. You can see we've got like jar files and other stuff like that. Yeah, there's still code. We've got HTML files, it's code. There are a lot of things that are code but are not apps. So we're going to show you how to make a program that is not an app, but it still runs code. The language we're going to be using is Visual Basic. It was created by Microsoft for Windows, and while it is slightly more basic than like JavaScript or other high-level languages, it still has a lot of functionality. And I personally sometimes prefer to use it with apps over C++ or other languages because for some apps it just does the job, and you don't need to have all like the .NET and other stuff you need to make what we consider to be normal apps. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And we're going to show you how to make it. So first things first, find the location in File Explorer. I'll just put it on my USB drive because I don't have files that you can't see on here. Go ahead and click New and select Text Documents right here. You can name it to something. I'll just name it to first program. And there you go. So now you're going to go ahead and click on View. Sorry, you can't see a lot of this, but Snipping Tool has its restrictions. And then you're going to click Show, and then you're going to select File Name Extensions, and then you're going to see this .txt appear here. Go ahead and delete that and put VBS. It's going to ask you if you want to change it, and hit Yes, and then your icon should change. There's a better view. Icon should change. And now you have a code file. You can see it says VBS script file. So now what we're going to do is you need to actually write the code. Now you can edit these in Notepad. If you right click, it gives you the option to edit in Notepad. But we don't really want to do that because Notepad is a pretty bad code editor because it's not meant to edit code. Instead, we're going to be using a program from Microsoft called Visual Studio 2020. Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio 2022 is different. So just search up Visual Studio Code in your web browser, and then you should see here, just click on it, and then you can hit download and select your operating system. And then once you've got it downloaded, go ahead and open it up. So it's Visual Studio Code right here. And then you should see here, you can close welcome, and then you're going to see something like this where we've got open file, open folder, open recent, etc. Go ahead and hit Control-O, open file, navigate to where your file is. I'll select this first program.vbs and hit open. And now you should see like a text editor thing. Now I know what you might be thinking, well, why did we download this whole thing to take up space on my disk? And it's just a text editor. Well, it's not. This is going to show you bugs in your code and do some things automatically that are good for coding. Like, for instance, when you type a left parenthesis, it'll make a pair, because it's very rare, if ever in coding, that you can have one parenthesis. See, it turns it red. It'll tell you that something's wrong there. And when you type like a curly brace or this or something like that, you get the point. It just does it for you. So yeah, and it also will show you bugs and color code things. That's nice. So for our first program, I'm thinking we're going to make a message, and we're going to click yes or no, and it'll do something else. So first we need to make the message. So just type message box like that, pair of parentheses and pair of quotes. And in the quotes, type what you want it to say. So I'll just say, are you hungry? Oops, sorry, like that. There we go. Now, comma, and then VB, yes, no. And that will display the buttons. So it'll display yes and no. And then, comma, another pair of quotes and the title. Because, for instance, if you have, those messages, they've got, like, a title at the top, like this, and then they've got text. So the title will just be question. Hold on, sorry, my typing is off today, I guess. And there we go. Now go ahead and go back to the front and type response equals, like that. Response equals message box, are you hungry, VB, yes, no, question. Just like that. Okay, you want it to be pretty much the same as that except for those words and the quotes. Now go down a few lines, like to line 3, and type if response equals VBS, then. And then go down a few spaces in just to separate it, and then type message box, all lowercase, parentheses, quotes, and then I can just type here is food, like that. And then go ahead and go to the bottom here and type end if. And then do the exact same thing down here. Oh, not RW. But then type VB no instead of VBS. So this will happen if the response is no. And then you can type something here like okay for the no message. And then again at the bottom end if. So your code, except for the orange stuff, should look exactly the same as this. So just go ahead, check it over a few times. You can edit the orange because that's just text. But make sure it looks pretty much the same. Now go ahead and click X. It'll ask you to save. I've got autosave enabled, so it won't. But if you just downloaded, it'll ask you to save. And then go ahead and go back to your file, double click it, and we've got a message, "Are you hungry?" question. And it will close after a few seconds. That's how Visual Basic works. And then if we click yes, we've got "Here is food." And if we click no, we've got "Okay." And you have just done it. You have made your first computer program. If you've got any questions, feel free to message me on our subreddit or Discord server, and we can definitely help you out there. And I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you on the next video.